So gaming is changing drastically. Xbox and PlayStation are fighting and dealing blows back and forth. And Xbox pretty much dealt what I thought was the biggest blow when they acquired Activision Blizzard King. Even PlayStation themselves understood it. In fact, that whole proposition led us to find out after the Insomniac leak that PlayStation perceived and understood that Xbox had pretty much leapfrogged over them. These were the words that they used when they actually described their position in the market. To that, we also have heard that somewhere, somehow, there are talks that PlayStation is not going to sit there and take that punch. They're going to try to strike back. When the acquisition actually went through, many of you remember that the very first thing that PlayStation did was they acquired Bungie. That did not seem to really work out, and now they're going for Kodakawa. Now, the Kodakawa one has a very interesting layer to it. It is because of the publishing deal that, or the publishing position that Kodakawa has in anime and all of the above. No worries, no problem. But there is From Software that sits in their coffers, which is definitely something that I'm sure PlayStation is definitely going to want. With this, I've seen some comments from my latest video where, some people are a little concerned. They're like, man, I hope this is a rumor. If PlayStation goes ahead and acquires this, we know how they are. Even some PlayStation fans, you even understand that, PlayStation has, and Sony, they have the anti-competitive, strain of DNA inside of their bodies, and it's still in there. They haven't necessarily been checked too much because they're a foreign entity, right? For the most part. So some people are kind of concerned. Now, to all of this, I got to say, one thing I think a lot of gamers are missing is being strategic. The strategic nature of these gaming companies are there to serve them, but you, the gamer, you have to put yourself in a position where you will not have to deal with the shenanigans that these gaming companies are pretty much serving everybody. And I think that's what it is. Some people have dealt with it by buying an Xbox and a PlayStation, so they're fine. They've pretty much resolved it. They're like, yeah, I'll just buy both consoles. I'm all right. Some of you have your, heels dug into the console that you play on. For no reason are you going to just go ahead and buy the other console. Even if the money dropped from freaking Mars in your doorstep, you'd rather light it on fire than go buy the opposing console. I get it. I understand that level of pride. I mean, I've been getting dragged by PlayStation players. In some cases, the hyper fans, even Xbox players give me a hard time too when I say Xbox needs to move their games to other platforms. They call me a pony. I get it. But one thing a lot of people don't realize that I also, get is actually walking the walk rather than just talking the talk. And I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to explain it because what I want to say in this video is one that will be met by resistance. And I want to make people understand that, yes, you could push back against it, but understand that I'm not just seeing it from a perspective that is empty and doesn't have any experience behind it. So first of all, in order for you to be able to move away from the shenanigans and still maintain your preferred platform to play, what your strategy should be is you should consider a platform that has neutrality attached to it. Go get a gaming PC. Before you push back, let me tell you what it is that I'm talking about. The very first Xbox console that I bought was this generation because I wanted to understand what it's like to own and play on an Xbox. And I've always, I've played on the Xbox back in the 360 days. Somebody gifted me one. But the PlayStation had been the only place I played video games. I left PlayStation to PC, one leg and one hand and my head out and then only one pinky in. I still left in PlayStation because I did not want to be, dealing with the shenanigans that they were, pretty much serving to me. So I went and I decided, let me get myself an Xbox so that I can also figure out how Xbox actually rolls. What's going on in this ecosystem? And I learned that from the Division agents. Some of you may or may not know, I actually make videos on Tom Clancy's The Division from time to time these days anyways. And I play in that community. I was one of the content creators in that community. So I'd make all these videos. Most of my videos were directed towards single player. I like playing the game single player. I like playing in communities too, but I love making single player content. And some people told me and said to me, they say you're a YouTuber, so you don't really understand the challenge to actually play this game as a single player. So if you could just play the game as a single player without YouTuber privileges, we'll believe what you're saying. So they told me, go set up another account. So I went and bought the game again, created a new account and started playing as a solo player. No, YouTuber privilege, used a different YouTube name. I said different gamer tag. And I played the game that way. And I got to experience what single players were experiencing. But I was able to gain authority in that regard. And so when I say to people that, ladies and gentlemen, you can build a PC that will rival your console. You can build a PC and customize your PC that will give you the smooth experience of what your console can give you. You can customize it to do whatever you want to do, to use a controller, to sit on your couch, to put it in a corner in your living room, whatever you want to do. I'm speaking that way from experience. I'm not just coming as some person, oh, yeah, you should get a gaming PC because, it's the best platform ever. No, I'm not doing that. I'm saying it because I understand that these challenges and this, competitive trade blows back and forth can, in a sense, make the consumer uncomfortable because you bought a console that you liked, but something can change in the industry. And all of a sudden, a game or a certain, number of games that you may have been looking for could be in a position where you don't have access to them anymore. This is exactly what I'm talking about in this regard. So the very first thing that you have to think about when, we're talking about this whole transition and shift to go into a gaming PC is, number one, you have to realize that getting a gaming PC versus a console is trying to achieve the same end goal, but one of them just has a little bit of freedom to it. Now, I gave an analogy yesterday about buying a house versus building a house as a way to compare both of them. And I think, I did the best I could, but I didn't do a really good job in describing everything. So buying a console is like going to just straight buy a house. Let's say you have cash to either buy or build a house, right? Building a PC is like buying a piece of land and then deciding what kind of house you can afford to actually build on that plot of land. So this is how it goes. You can look at the house and the land will come together, and you can buy the house for the market value, or you can buy a plot of land and you can choose to put a trailer home on there, which is very, very, very affordable compared to, a house. You could build a brand dominium or kind of a farmhouse in a sense, right? The pole barn style houses, which looks like a barn, but you can customize the inside. It's actually cheaper per square foot than most brick homes that you can put together, right? You can build a house made of wood, like a log cabin style, which is significantly also pricey. Or you can build it brick, which is, in my opinion, one of the premium costs that you can pay. So that plot of land can build different varieties of homes for you. In fact, if the land is probably the same, you can put the trailer home first in the side and then start building the other house on the side. That's pretty much the flexibility that building a PC gives you. It's just easier than building a house and all of the above. That's pretty much it. And so when you say go to, build a PC, a lot of people first go straight to, maybe Amazon.com, Newegg.com, and they type in gaming PC, and the very first thing they see is a PC that's $799, and they're thinking to themselves, bro, I cannot pay $799. This is more expensive than a console. This is actually, they have a lot of these challenges that they see, and they're not really aware that, hey, these are pre-built. This is like buying a house, right? That's already been built for you. You can basically start from, ground up, and you can build something that actually does work. But then a lot of people don't know where to start. And it's the same thing with the house. A lot of people don't know where to start when it comes to building a house. This is why PC gaming seems inaccessible for a lot of people. They just don't know where to start. Like if you ask me to go build a house, I got to go call a few friends. Hey, who built your house? Who built your house? Who built your house? So I can get somebody who actually understands and knows how to build a house, who knows costs, who knows materials, who knows different things. And then they can put together, a plan for you to build a house. So the first thing you need if you ever wanted to build a PC is actually a plan, not Newegg.com. Believe you me, close the websites and close the GPU parts and the CPU parts. That's not how you're going to successfully build a computer. You're going to need a plan. And that plan is what I think is going to take you where you need to go. And believe you me, the plan is cheap. It's not the R&D that's been put into the console with billions of dollars. But again, there's a reason you're looking for a separate platform to play and enjoy your games. So at the end of the day, ladies and gentlemen, this is something that I strongly believe that if you actually pay very close attention to, the way the gaming industry is shifting and the way everything is moving, you can really realize that a platform that carries that neutrality, like the PC platform, one that has more games in terms of outputs, because again, you're not limited now to what is being provided to you only on PlayStation or only on Xbox, because those platforms have a bigger filter than, say, Steam and Good Old Games and the others. And now you've set yourself strategically in a position where you can explore another platform. You can pretty much leave the shenanigans that maybe, say, the opposing platform, be it PlayStation or Xbox, wants to put on you that you don't want. You can go to a neutral ground. Some people have taken this into account and they bought a handheld. They didn't have to buy a PC. They didn't have to worry about, oh, am I going to be able to get a gaming PC? They just went and bought like a Steam Deck or a Rogue Ally. They didn't want to bother with all of this nonsense that VG is talking about. They're like, get out of here, VG. And I'm like, I get it. I do understand. And they went and bought themselves a handheld. That's another way to get in. So this one small device that a lot of console gamers who don't want to touch a PC already own is their pocket ticket to start exploring a whole different platform should PlayStation decide one day that it wants to pull the $80 game, the $1,000 console, and all of this stuff that I've seen people tell me that they are genuinely concerned about if PlayStation were to go that route and gain more power. This is why I've told you that the competition needs to happen so that both of them could basically even and balance each other out. This is why people are concerned that Xbox is not putting in all of its power juice into the console. Don't worry about the console. Hardware is going to take care of the console in the general market. I mean, think about it, ladies and gentlemen. Some of you that have PlayStations already have your side piece. When I say side piece, you know what I'm talking about. This right here, your handhelds. Y'all are acting like, oh, console, but y'all are telling me in the comment section that you have a Rogue Ally, that you have a Steam Deck, that you have the Lenovo Legion. Some of you bought a handheld before me, and I'm the PC gamer. In fact, I was like, man, y'all have a handheld? I got to go get me a handheld. Because you guys understand that strategy that I'm talking about. So I made this whole video just to tell you that you already know what to do. I just came to remind you that you already know what to do. And I just came to remind you that some of you are already doing it. Because, again, the reality actually is right here in front of all of us. And we're seeing the way gaming is changing now more than ever. A lot of people are asking very important questions. And I'm sure that they realize that if they can find answers, they can hedge themselves, and the gamer can be the best benefactor. Don't worry about the $1,000 console. Forget that. That $1,000 console is going to die a very, very slow death if you ignore it. And then if you wonder, so where am I going to go? Well, you know where to go. There are options. A lot of options. In fact, Xbox is trying to render the $1,000 console irrelevant and useless. PlayStation is trying to prop up the $1,000 console. So there's a fight. So already, the enemy of your enemy, the $1,000 console being your enemy, is your friend in that regard, right? So again, you can take advantage of that. That's exactly how you basically strategize yourself and position yourself in this whole gaming scene. So as a content creator, when I talk about the market and the industry, I see a lot of fanboys getting their feelings, saying that I'm actually, hating on one platform or whatever it is. No, I'm pointing out their weaknesses so that those who may be on those platforms know exactly how to act accordingly. That's all it is. I realized that telling y'all to go buy a PC directly was the wrong strategy because y'all were not going, you don't like being told what to do. So what did I do? I decided to show you where there's room for improvement across the different platforms. And that motivated most of you. It really did. So now that you're seeing more and more acquisitions and all of this stuff, it's time to broaden your horizons. It's not the time for you to start doubling down and going to go buy a mid-gen refresh because, PC gamers are making you mad. Like, dude, forget that. We're grown up here. We're all just talking about what the industry is facing. At least I am. So that the gamer is very well, versed in exactly what it is that they're going to be spending their money on. For me, and I've said this is the last generation of consoles I'm going to buy. Because we've now reached a place where we now have handhelds. We now have a service like Game Pass, and PlayStation is going to be coming soon with that as well. Some of you think PlayStation is going to delve into the console and stick with it. Well, with Microsoft continuing to pull the fabric of what console reality is, they won't be comfortable there anymore. They will basically be in a position where they're looking and saying, "Man, we can't really do much on this ecosystem." So they want to force them out of their comfort zone, and then out of their comfort zone they will be forced out of. That's just the reality of what's going on right now in terms of gaming. So I hope people are opening their eyes and people keep an open mind, because I think all of this is what's going to allow for this whole conversation to be very strong. And what's even beautiful about this, ladies and gentlemen, is those who eventually start hedging themselves, they're going to make PlayStation respond as well. PlayStation is now going to have to be forced to give more value within its ecosystem, seeing as customers are going to go, We're not really concerned about dealing with all the, shenanigans that you're putting out here. That's how the consumer wins, by having options, by having competition from, other places as well. So before we delve into, what it takes to build a PC and, breaking it all down and all of that, I think the very first thing we need to do is basically get to the source of the problem and the issue. Now, this is, like I said, a roundabout way of dealing with everything. You could just go buy yourself a PlayStation and an Xbox, and you will resolve most of the issues, no problem. No problem. So, that's my little rant on this whole conversation. And if you were wondering, where are you going to get that PC from that's going to rival a console for the same price point, I have a video somewhere. I'll probably link it for you. Just let me know. Just ask me in the comment section. If I see your comment, I'll link it. Or if not, I'll just link it right now as I'm, uploading this. So thanks for watching. Appreciate you guys' time and audience. And hopefully we'll talk pretty soon in another one. Peace out.